from North Carolina.
The Spivey Notes are on the hot bike with Jay Spivey. What's up, man?
What's up, guys?
Mr. Spivey, how you doing?
Okay, Jay. We're going to give you the floor because we talked about it to lead off the show with Angel Reese trying to stand up to Caitlin Clark, and it didn't work.
Ooh,
We're going to give you the floor on this one.
Well, you know, guys, I'm generally in favor of Caitlin Clark on pretty much everything she does, and I'm going to be honest with you. I think she was trying to send a message to Reese, Angel, but she wasn't trying to be like vicious with it. She was just sending her a message.
Right.
Totally different than last year when Angel hit her upside the head and knocked her down on the floor. That's just different.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But for Caitlin Clark to say, oh, it was just a basketball player. No, it wasn't.
It was not.
No, but Angel Reese went way off the hook for no reason.
Oh,
it wasn't not that hard of a foul.
No, it was a common foul.
All she did was she just kind of slapped her on the arm. She just chopped down on her arm. I mean, I'm sure it hurt, but it's not like a vicious hit.
And she was making a play on the ball.
Right.
She was making a play on the ball.
People haven't seen that or haven't said a word that I've seen. Right before that, if you look, Caitlin Clark points at the referee and says the Angel elbowed her.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
Which she did.
Nobody said any of that. Which she actually did elbow her.
She did.
So she comes back and then chops down her arm.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I found interesting about that, Mr. Spivey, is the fact that usually after a call like that, you would think that the Sky would have had like that fire lit under them, a fire in their belly, and they came out even flatter than they did to start the game.
Well, it's obvious, whether it be her or the team, Caitlin Clark's just in her head.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta let that go.
Heavily in her head.
And she won't. She's living rent free in her head, and she won't let that go. She wants to be Caitlin Clark. She wants to be Caitlin Clark on the professional level so bad.
It's not even close.
Nope.
No, it's
not. And for all those Angel Reese lovers out there, it's not even close.
It won't.
I mean, that's why it's very hard to even consider this a rivalry, because usually for a rivalry, both sides got to be on par. You don't see Angel Reese being on par with Caitlin at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, other than Angel beat her once at LSU, is that right?
Yes.
Other than that game, Caitlin's better number.
It's ridiculous that people even remotely consider this a rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I kind of go back. To me, this is similar to back in the 70s and 80s with Magic and Bird.
Mm-hmm.
Neither Magic nor Bird let either one of them get in their heads.
Right.
Exactly.
It was a good, friendly rivalry, and they're still friends to this day.
Best friends. The folks from the Strikeout Beer podcast joining us here this morning. Good morning to you guys down in Texas. Jay Spivey here with us on the program, as he is every Monday, talking about the quote-unquote rivalry of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, which isn't.
And I asked this question before, and I'll ask you this as well, Mr. Spivey. Do you think at some point Angel's got to pick a lane? Because she wants to be the pretty, the very pretty basketball player, the fashion mogul. And
she should have been honest in the press conference Saturday.
Right.
Talking about, it was a basketball player. Didn't believe that for a second.
Nope. Because if she believed it was a basketball play, she wouldn't have reacted the way that she did.
She wouldn't have got mad.
Yeah, she wouldn't have politics for the foul.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it seemed like to me? You ever see, and baseball guys, you all are into baseball. It seems like, how a manager gets ejected from a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that whole routine, that whole performance seemed like she was trying to get everyone else riled up, like how you would if you're a manager at a baseball game. When you get ejected, you ramp it up so that your team gets ramped up. It's like, yo, he's fighting for us, let's fight for him.
Right.
No one fought for Angel.
Like I said earlier, it was like Angel Reese dropped the gloves and it didn't do the job that she was hoping it would do.
And the other thing is, it's been a year plus.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people thought that they were pretty even in terms of the draft last year, which was ridiculous in itself. But get better.
Mm-hmm.
There's
That's
still a
it.
lot of There's still a lot of deficiencies in Angel Reese's game.
Footwork, free throws.
Footwork is number one, 100%.
Mid-range jump shot.
Jay and I have talked about this so many times over that Angel Reese's footwork is very lacking, and it was lacking it was lacking at LSU. But difference is she had a coach that made her play correctly, and she had teammates she could depend on. She didn't have that right now.
Right. Was it just me, or did you guys also? I know Snowman, you saw it. Did it seem like at some points Angel just looked lost? Like she did not know where to stand. She didn't know where.
That's
she was
again,
supposed to
she's
be.
in her head.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it's like, is that a coaching thing? Is like, did they just not know the plays?
That's a
because
reason.
Because usually, even if you're you know the plays, if you don't know the plays, you know where you're supposed to be. You know who your assignment is, who you're supposed to be guarding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Caitlin thoroughly outplayed her Saturday.
Yeah, she did.
And the thing is, we talked about this during the post game. At the top of the game, Caitlin Clark wasn't having a good game, even though her teammates picked her. Even though her teammates picked her up, everybody wanted to see Caitlin Clark hit a few deep threes in a row, not just the one that she hit toward the end of the first quarter. And I'll repeat a statement, and I'll cede the floor to Jay. When Angel Reese got angry because of that supposed flagrant foul, they gave the Indiana Fever a reason to care, even though they were up double digits at the time. Chicago was about to make a charge. Thank you, Courtney Vandersloot, and got him back in the game. Rachel Allen got them back in the game as well with her sharp shooting. But after that foul, they gave the Fever a reason to care and a reason to blow them out.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, the Fever are much better than they were last year in terms of the talent they have.
Oh
my
gosh,
this team is far better than they were last year.
Oh yeah. They are much better than they were.
I've still seen people, even to this. I just saw it a little while ago on social media. Not that I'm out there trolling everyone, but I did see it. There's a lot of people who still think Caitlin Clark can't play and think Angel's better than she is. Are they watching the same games?
I don't know how.
I saw that.
I don't know how you would say that with a straight face if you've watched any of the games.
I don't know why you would say that with a straight face.
You know why, Snowman? We've talked about this before.
RACE.
Absolutely.
RACE. It's the only reason I could think of. RACE. And no
if Caitlin Clark were black, this would not even be an issue.
Nope. They would call it a friendly competition. They would call
They would be friends, probably.
Probably, but they're certainly not now.
Well, not now.
They're certainly not now. And what is also getting in Angel Reese's head, and Jay, we've talked about this, Caitlin Clark just wants to play basketball.
Absolutely. Now, we're going to have the same issue in the fall, assuming he can play.
Mm-hmm.
If Cooper Flagg is as good as advertised, we're going to have the same issue in the NBA.
Yep.
And what did I say earlier? At some point, it seems like she's going to have to pick a lane. She can't. It seems like she does not have the capacity to be the fashionista on one side and the basketball player on the other.
Right.
Yep.
It seems like she
Absolutely
can't do
right.
both.
She
so
can't.
It's like at some point she's got to pick a lane, and either you're going to be the basketball player or you're going to be the fashionista. You can't.
Well, I don't begrudge anybody their money or
I don't either.
Or their endorsement. I mean, Caitlin Clark's got all kinds of endorsements, but she's gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
But she knows where her bread is buttered. She knows that she's a basketball player, and the other stuff can come in later.
No, I mean, I don't know what Angel did in the offseason, but I guarantee you Caitlin worked her rear end off over the offseason.
No, she did.
I know she did. She just didn't publicize it like Angel Reese did in that Unrivaled League, which still could use a few more minutes in the oven.
Yeah, Angel
that Unrivaled League can use a few more hours in the oven.
Hours, and higher temperature too.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
I'm sure we'll probably find out today. But I bet the ratings for that Saturday were off the chart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know they were.
And what do you think? What else? What do you think they made that the main game Saturday in the opening game of the weekend?
And why do you think the next two are in the United Center and not at Wintrust Arena?
Well, I mean,
the next two are in the next two, June 7th and July 27th. They're both in the United Center.
Where almost all their games are at bigger arenas. All the Fever's games are at bigger arenas. You can't say that for Angel.
Mm-mm. Matter of fact, they didn't even make the move or think about making the move to bigger arenas for Angel Reese, because Angel Reese is not Caitlin Clark, period. In terms of a basketball player, in terms of a personality, in terms of everything.
And I mentioned this last week. I know everybody's whining that they're on 41 out of 44 times on national TV, but my argument is they should be on 44 times out of 44 times.
That's my argument.
This is all about eyeballs.
Mm-hmm. And the 3 games that are not on television, they're going to be here.
One of them's tomorrow.
Oh, then in that case, except for the 17,000 that'll be at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, I'm going to get the rest of them to tune into my play-by-play call, because I'm going to have the call right here.
By the way, the game drew 2.23 million views Saturday.
There you go.
And that's a 3 o'clock. And that's a 3 o'clock game.
That's a 3 o'clock game.
That's a 3 o'clock game. Imagine if it was in primetime hours.
NBA, are you listening to this? NHL, are you listening to this? We're playing night games
baseball. Are you listening to this?
Game 7. It's funny you just mentioned that with the ratings. I just happened to see there was a highlight of when the Bulls played the Lakers in 91 in the finals. Yep. And they played on a Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
You would never see that now.
No.
But the Bulls and Lakers we're talking about, and they play on Sunday. Why not play on a Sunday afternoon in the summer?
It was game 1. 91 NBA Finals, game 1 at Chicago Stadium.
I was listening to an 86 game, I think it was, Bulls Celtics. And that was a Sunday afternoon game because they were talking about the 4th round of the Masters.
Afternoon all the time.
April 20th, 1986.
Yeah, they were talking about the 4th round of the Masters because the game was on CBS.
Mm-hmm. With Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn on the call. Mm-hmm. And I'll repeat what Jay said just a moment ago. NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball. Are you listening to this?
Yeah.
Are you hearing the numbers that we're spewing out here?
When was the last time there was a World Series game in the middle of the afternoon?
It's been a minute.
It's a while.
It's not since the 90s.
I think it's the 80s.
Live research.
You know what? I think it was 1989. I will go back. I will say the last World Series game in the afternoon was in the 80s. And I know the last LCS game. The last LCS game that was in the afternoon was in the 80s. And that was
1987. 87
for the World Series.
Okay.
World Series game
Cardinals?
6. Cardinals
Twins.
It's something I said before about how games in the afternoon can actually help you out, because why not have a game? Shoot, there were times where my dad, my aunt, and myself, we'd watch NBA playoff games, particularly finals games, in the afternoon, like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon.
Yep, absolutely.
There's just too much to go against in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So why not play in the afternoon?
Let's go back a year. I mean, Dog mentioned 87 being the last World Series game in the afternoon. Let's go back a year. 86 NLCS between the Mets and the Astros was at noon.
Yes, that was a day game. Yes, you're 100% right. Yep.
Right after that, what popped on? College football.
Yep.
Perfect setup.
Yeah, you have the noontime game, and then you have the star-making 3:30 game for college football.
Yep.
And you don't have to pick and choose what game you watch. You can watch both of them, and you'll still be able to get enough rest or something for the day for the work day after. Let's say it's
my argument is more for the weekends. Like yesterday, was Game 7 in NHL. It's 7:30 or 8 or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And NBA at least played in the afternoon yesterday, but still, why in the world's NHL even trying? I mean, a night game with Toronto and Florida,
in which Toronto got skunked.
And as I stated last week on this particular show, I live in North Carolina, and of course I'll be rooting for the Hurricanes. But nobody's gonna watch either one of these series.
No, we talked about that in depth last week.
Yeah, we did.
Who's gonna watch Carolina and Florida play?
Except for the true hockey fans, nobody.
Nobody's gonna watch it.
I know Blake and Droid will, but that's about it.
I know I'm going to take a peek at them because I'll
watch it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying.
We're talking
about the casual late season
the casual fan doesn't care.
Fan, they don't care. Are they going to watch Dallas and Edmonton? No.
Hell no.
Unless you're a real hockey fan and are diehard and true to the game, the casual fan, as Jay said just a moment ago, will not watch.
Well, casual fans don't watch hockey anyway.
If the Knicks don't win, the NBA ratings will be lower than low.
The casual fans don't watch hockey anyway, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, the casual fans and the fans of the teams outside of these four aren't watching the games.
The casual fan only really watch football and basketball. They barely watch baseball, and they don't watch hockey at all.
And barely being the operative word. I will say this. I've run into a lot of Pacer fans here in the area because I live in Southern Indiana. I run into a lot of Pacer fans here, and they are ultra excited about this series, which highlights Jay's point. Yep, which highlights Jay's point about the casual basketball fan. Because I've run into fans here that will sport the gear, but know nothing about the team or the game.
Not only that, they don't care to know. They don't care to find out.
Thank you. Facts.
They're just watching it to watch something.
If it isn't their favorite player or a player they know, they don't care. If it's not, you know who.
Oh, don't make me say it.
Or Harden or Embiid or Luka or
who's going to watch the Western Finals?
Right.
Nobody.
Not I, says me.
Right.
I don't have a horse in the race. Which is
don't
why
get me wrong here. I mean, I understand they had to do it, but it makes no sense to me that Minnesota's in the West.
I
ain't got a dog in this pony show.
That Memphis is in the West, New Orleans is in the West. Makes no sense.
Oh, yeah.
I got no dog. I got no dog in this pony show. I'm not watching.
I got no dog in this fight either.
Well, the ratings are going to be awful. If the Knicks don't win, the NBA is screwed.
Yep. And David Stern's going to flip over in his grave for that.
Pretty much.
Well, they already had the
draft lottery.
They already had the lottery rig last week.
Oh yeah, that was. Oh yeah. Now, by a show of hands, and we'll close here. Who doesn't think the lottery was rigged? That's right. Every member of the class has their hand down.
It's been rigged for years.
It's been rigged since they started it in 1985.
They had almost no chance of winning. And after all the drama they've gone through the last 3 or 4 months, they somehow win the lottery.
Especially after that.
One of, if not the worst trade in NBA history.
Yeah, exactly. That monumental moronic trade.
Having this happen.
The worst trade in NBA history, and yet they get rewarded.
Teams.
And he gets to save his job.
Yep. We'll put a stop on it there. Jay Spivey joining us here on the program as he does every single Monday. This version of Hot Mic with Jay's Spivey Notes is presented by Invader Coffee. Thanks a lot, Jay. We appreciate you, buddy.
All right, guys. Have a good day.
I think one of our subjects tomorrow is going to be timing of playoff games. And I am certainly going to date myself with some of the games I used to watch. And I mentioned the Mets and the Astros from 86. That starts at noon. I'm thinking Central Time. Starts at noon, 3 o'clock. You got college football for the rest of the day. And our day is done. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they're simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are. And we hope y'all are too. God bless you. So long, everybody. Tomorrow, we'll talk timing of playoff games, more from the Angel Reese situation, and we'll preview the East and the West finals in the NBA. And James Harden, you a bitch.
Joel Embiid, you a bitch. Bye.